All right, I haven't done a Madden video in a while, and I wanted to show you some Maddenized run and shoot. I really enjoy the run and shoot playbook. I really wish it was brought back in the NFL. It was more prominent in college football because it's a very, very fun scheme and is just very versatile. It's not like locked in where you have these coverages like the Eagles who won the Super Bowl. They have this man match zone where they're in a zone, but they'll match up and they'll pass off the coverages and they do it fluidly where the whole team works as like one entity, one body, all fluidly working together where they cover your players as a team, not like man on man, like I have to beat my man like Revis Island or something like that. No, they cover as a team. All right? And the run and shoot is an offensive version of that where the team just kind of flows where based on the coverage there's a lot of like I brought up before, there's a lot of option routes. When you see the coverage in a certain way, you do a certain route, and even before the snap you see single high, double high safety, you might audible to something else to use the run game when they too high and only five or fewer in the box. Let's run it, right? It's short yardage and they're playing real off coverage. Maybe do an RPO or a screen or something, a read option, right? Audible to that, even though your first thing you're trying to do is pass. But in Madden, it's not real life. It's fun. They try to do their best. And this year's Madden, I think, has been one of the best they've had in a long time when it comes to gameplay. The franchise is still lacking, doing their version of the dynasty mode or career mode kind of thing, but gameplay has been fun. All right, it's still arcadey. It's not physics based. A little bit physics based, where you may get a favorable animation if your guy is, let's say, a lot heavier than the guy tackling you, such as you got like a 350-pound running back like Najee Harris running into a 200-pound corner. You're you're probably going to get a favorable animation, so it's semi physics based, but not really. But I still think it's been fun. So in Madden, there's times where you have to take advantage of certain route combinations, and that's what I want to show you here. In I'm gonna Maddenize the run and shoot and show you how one route that's already in the run and shoot formations here, you can build around it to really attack all the coverages. So I'm going to show you here the one I have a heart on here, the 590 Texas on the right. We're going to come to this play. A lot of people like to run the dime 3-2. And let's start with, I guess we'll start with the cover 3 lock. We'll go through the different coverages here and show you how a simple little setup here where the first thing you want to do is take the X receiver on the inside. I'll back out for a second. I accidentally already did Dotson. You want to put him on a smoke screen, but a lot of times if you don't do the first step first, it glitches out and it won't work. I don't know why, but you see how Campbell here is doing kind of like a speed out, but it's pretty deep, right? Well, what you want to do is you go to him, hold L1 for the custom streak, put it up 1, so it's like just under that slant route, right? And of course, I already put the outside guy, I put him on a little smoke screen there. Now, the running back, you're going to want to change him up. If you're worried about getting sacked, you can put him on a block, or to help out with a big play, you put him on a streak, especially against a cover 3, because before I run it, I'll show you how it's supposed to play out. Now with Brown, you can leave him on that drag, or you can put him on a streak. You can put him on almost anything you want. It shouldn't really disrupt what's going on here, for the most part anyway. But with Dotson, when it's man coverage, the guy above him is going to be right on top of him. Right? If they're doing a man match, that guy is probably just going to float off, right? And if he's in like a, I guess maybe a cloud or one of those flats, he might come down there. But let's say he comes down and he covers Dotson. Well, then Campbell doing that speed route is going to get above him. And in man coverage, this route, as soon as he makes that cut, gets a good distance on man coverage as well. Right? But since we're doing a cover three, this is really going to open up triangle here, Smith. Because you see, what ends up happening is with Dotson down here low, there's a potential where you could throw to him pretty quick. But the guy on fire above Campbell here, the X receiver, he's going to go towards that flat. Not the best place to go, right? But I actually think he's manned up on Campbell because this is a modified cover three we're doing here. But when he cuts out, he's also going to draw attention of that outside corner. Kind of like if you took the outside receiver and you did one of those comeback routes, how it gets that outside third to bite on it. Well, this route that Campbell's doing does the same thing. So if they're doing this outside third, he's going to draw that attention, right? And then now that I have Barkley doing this streak, since Campbell's taking that outside guy out of the way, Barkley, he's going to end up taking the middle safety's attention because he's going to go deep. If that middle safety ignores him, that's a touchdown, right? So what ends up happening? Smith doing this quick post here. It's not quite a quick slant, more of a slant than a post, I guess, but a little deeper slant here. It gets in between the two deep players. The deep corner is going to come out to the sideline because of Campbell, and the deep safety is going to go back because Barkley is going to draw his attention, which means Smith goes right in between. But this is a modified cover three where there's a man coverage guy there, so it might play a little bit different, but we'll run it to show you how this all works out. And I got sacked, but we'll look at the replay just to show you. Now he should be manned up because it's modified. You see this guy, he's coming down towards the flat, so you could throw quick to him like I was saying, but you wouldn't get too many yards. And you notice when he cuts in, he's drawing that outside third. He's coming down. Like, he should be deeper, right? And Barkley didn't get out there too fast, but right here you see how we can hit Barkley or Smith coming over here, right? We pass lead over to the right towards the numbers for Barkley. That's a touchdown. If we throw up the field, like going up the numbers to Smith, look how open both these guys are. Because that safety, the middle safety for some reason is playing back there, right? But even if he comes over, he's going to go for Barkley, right? Because Barkley's the closest guy, which means if you pass lead right up when he's here, if you're pass leading up these numbers like towards the 40-30, you lead him up, he's going to catch it between the safety to the left and the corner number 0 over there to the right. And that's a big play. Just for some reason, when you do this in practice, even when I hit the setting for aggressive pass blocking, it still just doesn't seem to work out too well. But we'll run it one more time. I'm gonna roll over here. Hopefully this helps out a little bit. And right when I was throwing it, I got hit. But you see how that plays. And I'll show you that how this works against different coverages as well. Let's not do the cover 3 lock. I think that man coverage does change things a little bit, and not a lot of people do that. A lot of people like to use this cover 4 quarters, so we're going to go do that. And first thing we do, we extend him a little bit. We're going to put that outside guy on this. We can do a streak with the running back. We're going to put him for blocking because we don't get a lot of time for some reason. And show you that you don't really need this. But he comes right under the cover 4. Right before the sideline. Easy. Right? Let's run that one more time. Now if you put the running back out on a route, such as a streak or a wheel, I don't have the option to put him on a wheel using Hertz here, but if you did something like that, it could help out as well. But you notice that both the safety and the corner, they go back and they go over the top of Campbell and he cuts underneath them. You could probably still hit Dotson and get a couple yards, but why bother when you can get that every time against the cover 4, right? And let's show another coverage. I'll try to go through this quick. Let's go back to this play here. Let's go to Palms. Palms plays a little different, so we'll do a cover 4 Palms. And then we'll try to find a cover 3 match. Alright, so extend him 1. That guy on the screen, we're going to do blocking because it's practice and you just don't get a lot of time. So basically the same thing. Boom. Right? You just work on your timing and maybe pass lead it if you feel you need to. Some of these guys have their knockouts. Maybe lead it down a little bit. I'll run it one more time to try to demonstrate that. Ah, dang it, I put him on a streak. I'm just going to take the sack. I didn't hold L2 or something. L1. Oh, so extend him. There we go. And just kind of bass lead down, and I got hit. That was pretty quick. Even putting the running back into block didn't seem to do the trick. We're gonna... I gotta reset the play. Sorry about that. Sometimes I accidentally go too fast. But let's try to pass lead. I threw it a little too soon, but that's because I didn't want to get sacked before I threw it. But you can see right there, he should be able to catch it, get down before any kind of knockout activates. All right, let's try to find a cover 3 match in that same formation. Without a blitz. Overload 3 seam is probably where we're going to have to go. Oh, there we go. Cover 3 buzz match. We can do that one. And then I'll show you against man. And I messed it up again. Sorry about that, guys. Wasting your time here. It's like I hit up before I hit L1. All right. I could have thrown it to Campbell on the out, but I wanted to hit that post there. But I should have known I would not have time. 63. Let's double this guy so I can just roll out here. And apparently he didn't want to go deeper than that. It's a little strange. Usually he's going deeper than that. I'm pretty sure I was holding L1 on that. Alright, I guess we'll try it to this side since I accidentally did that. And for some reason his route... See how I was saying sometimes it glitches out? So I'm just going to run and take the sack. We'll get... just so I can reset it. That's why I say that's the first thing you should do is go to that receiver doing that out. Extend him first, because for some reason if you don't, it won't work. And I'm going to extend the post a little bit further. And let's double team this guy so I can roll out here a little bit. Make sure to block the running back. Come over here. And you can see how he's open. He could have caught that. Probably should have caught that. But if we had Barkley on a streak, you see how that would have taken that safety out of that equation. So I would have came over here, and I didn't put him. Forgot to extend him. I guess I don't know why this wasn't working before like this, but if you got to extend the post, I guess one as well. One more adjustment. Don't like to make too many adjustments, but let's roll the blocking over here. Let's come over here. And even getting hit. You see how both the... We'll look at the replay. I don't want to do that too many times. Look like a bonehead here, but let's go to replay. And the guys we're watching here is this guy. You notice he's going to start playing 2 up because of Barkley's route. And this guy is going to play out because of Campbell's route over here. So let's watch that play out. Alright, so Campbell, I get stuck on that guy. You see how he comes down? He's drawing this outside third. He's staying low, right? You could probably try to hit this guy if you pass lead him in this direction, right? But no, I want him to do what he's doing. Yeah, see how the safety starts going up because of Barkley. Well, then you throw it to him before this guy realizes, oh, I have a job to do over there. And then boom, you just work on that timing. And you notice I'm also playing in the middle of the field. If I was playing towards the left hash mark, it would be a little bit more open. That might be one of the reasons why it's a little bit different. Because if the ball was placed where Jordan Mailata is, the left tackle, then it's open a little bit more. But I wanted to do it in the middle of the field just to give it a balance, to show you, hey, it works. If you're over to one hash mark or the other, it works even better. So if you're on the left or right hash mark, the open side of the field is where you want the running back, where you want that out route that Campbell's doing. So if we were on the right side where Barkley is, we would flip the play, right, to make it work a little bit better. But I wanted to show you maybe one more. Oh yeah, man coverage, and then I'm going to show you how this is also in other formations, because this route is deadly. Let's find a cover 2, and then we'll do a cover 1. Alright, so this I find especially deadly for man coverage because that man guy on Dotson, he's staying down. He's not going anywhere. And that just leaves everything behind him open. And that safety that's above Campbell, he's going to play towards that direction, but he's going to stay more above Campbell. And you'll be able to get outside of him pretty easy. And if you want, you can hit Smith in between the safeties as well. So right here, this cut, look at all that space. Right? Let's run it one more time just to show you that if you wanted to, you could also hit the post against man coverage. Alright. We'll do cover 1, I guess cover 2, just to show you against cover 2 how it looks after this. Alright. Where's the cover 1? Alright, so let's do our little steps here. Alright, gotta reset the play. Going too fast. Alright, so cover 1 should be very similar, except you have way more outside leverage here, because there's no safety help, right? The post, not so open on this one, right? But the drag, obviously, you can throw back to that. Even against cover 2 man, you could do that if you just really need to get rid of it. But what I'm also going to do is, because you can treat this kind of like the cover 3. And I messed up the play, and I'm sorry about that. And put Barkley on a streak. Alright, so you have it like this. And this makes it where you can potentially hit that post, but that coverage was really good. He covered inside like he's supposed to on a cover 1. He played that perfectly. Look at that replay where I would have to throw like down and behind him to make this work. You see right there, he's running the route for him. I would have to throw it dangerously back this way and hope he makes a play on it. But I was also on the run, so I didn't feel like doing that. But let's resume. Cover 2, we'll do cover 2 real quick, and then I'm going to show you how you can, if you like this play, and you see ways you can work on it, like I'll show you some other things you can do to change up how this all plays out too. Let's do the Tampa 2 drop. We only have 3 men coming in, so hopefully I have more time. Probably still get sacked because that's Madden for you. And we'll keep an extra blocker. But you see cover 2, he kind of stays down there. You might want to lead up. I wasn't expecting him to drop back as fast as he did. Now, you could potentially... Oh man, why did I keep doing that? I have to take my time here, make sure I don't mess it up. You could potentially hit between the safeties with Smith. We'll look at that after I hit this play here. You can see pass lead up into the sideline. Easy. You see this route really draws attention. If it's not getting open and getting you a first down, it's drawing a lot of attention where it opens up the other routes. But I'm going to show you something else you can do instead to change things up, but basically doing the same thing. And I messed up again. I'm sorry about that. Just fingers too fast, thinking ahead of myself here. All right. Now with Smith, you could potentially do this, but sometimes that linebacker gets back there pretty well. And I waited way too long to throw it. He didn't go quite where I was expecting, but probably not where you want to throw it, especially since there's 2 guys right in the middle between the safeties, so that middle linebacker plays a lot deeper. But yeah, one of the things I wanted to show that you could potentially do. Oh, it's not actually letting me do it. Is you can take someone like, I didn't want to mess that up, Smith over here. I guess he has to be that guy. You take him. What happened to the hut routes? I don't have zig, so we're just going to do an out. But if you have the option, you can put him on a little zig, or you can put him on a flat route here, right? And then you can put Brown on the post, right? And I'm just going to leave Dotson on that little streak. I'm going to block the running back. And you can see that it's just turned it into a flood concept. But instead of the corner route, you have this quick out. I'm going to put Dotson on just the fade because I want to make sure he doesn't cut in, because Brown is somebody I'm going to be looking for. And you can see how that would get open there. I want to just look at the replay. I know he threw that pretty quick, but you see you pass lead up here, and that potentially can be a big play. But You know, not my first look there. Safety is coming at him because there's nobody on the outside drawing his attention away. But I wanted to show you that this route is also in this formation here, and you can run it out of these two plays here, divide and the divide swap. I think that's the only two places here. But you see, you can take this. Let's try divide. We'll do this one. And we'll do what a lot of people do in the cover 4. And like I said, the first thing you want to do is just extend him a little bit deeper. Matter of fact, we're going to extend him a lot deeper. And then you just motion him over. And with brown, you can do this little smoke screen if you want. Just like this. With the running back, you can... Let's do a triple option here. And you'll see I hit triangle because I'm used to the triangle being on that guy, but that guy was wide open. Like I said, the first thing you should do is extend the route before you motion or do any of the hot routes, because for some reason if you do a custom extend after I'm in motion or after you did some other route change, for some reason it glitches it out. It doesn't always work if you don't do it first. At least that's how it's been doing it for me. But you see here, the way he cuts, he just destroys the cover 4. And I mainly wanted to show this because it just does that. It kills the cover 4, and that's what a lot of people are using. It also does pretty good against the cover 3. Like even this right here, I'll run this play against a cover 3 in a second here to show you that that option route should do a little... The option route there by Campbell, it should cut in there well enough where you can hit a big play there as well. So let's do that, and we'll end the video with that. Just wanted to make one of these videos. Again, I haven't done it in a while. But you can also do it out of divide swap if you so choose. But we're gonna just use divide for right now. Let's use a cover 3 match. People tend to do more match than not, I guess. Alright, so before we motion him, we're gonna extend him twice. Then we're gonna motion him over. We're still gonna do a flat route here. And Smith can still get open on this, but you can also hit, or you can't. But you could just throw it to Brown. As you could see, he was wide. Just wait. So like I was saying, that route, it is either getting open or it's drawing a lot of attention where it gets everything else open. And you don't even have to make it that deep, but it works better if you're going to have the flat underneath. As you watch, if you don't extend it, I mean, it works, but what I got like 3 yards compared to, let's actually extend it. And let's see if I can get more than 3 or 4 yards here. So you wait for that corner to start falling back, throw it. 5, 6, right, I was almost 6 yards before I got hit. So almost 7 yards there, so like doubled the yards just by extending that route a little bit. But the cool thing here is that you can also, the run and shoot playbook is a little weird. Like, watch this. I motion him. Look at his route. It stays to the outside. Like, it doesn't flip. Right? So you can just take this, and I'm not sure what he's going to do against a cover 3 on the option route when you motion him, but you see that, like, with Smith's route, it stays to the outside. So you can just take this, and I'll show it on the other route too. I guess I'll show that since I brought it up. You use this here. I'm just throwing it just to throw it. But you can take advantage of that when you see certain routes and you're like, that would be good if it was to the outside instead of going inside. Or, hey, it's going outside, I want it to go inside. And for some reason, I'm not sure if it'll work on something like this. I'm just going to pick a play real quick. But like this zig, if I can grab him, this one might flip. Certain ones do, but I think some of the custom routes for the run and shoot do not flip. So let's go back to the Tech 590 Texas here, just to give you an example. I'll keep using autoflip. Let's just use the cover 4/4. So if you wanted to take Campbell, bring him in, all of a sudden it's an inside. Right? Kind of like the divide there. And you see how it drew attention with his little cut thing, and now boom, we got a touchdown here. So it's like an inside flood, because you see how we got Campbell, but then we got Smith, supposed to be going a little bit deeper, but they're pretty much lined up. And then you have Brown. But watch when Campbell he's doing his little jig to do his cut, they all focus on him and Smith cuts right by them. Except for that time. He got bumped by the guy, and I should have thrown it to Campbell that time. But I was expecting the same thing to happen. But, one of those guys get open on that. Usually I don't like to run routes where they're all going to the same place, but I was just using this as an example where it doesn't always work. Like, you motion him, his is probably going to flip. Wow, his doesn't flip. I don't think this is going to be a really good play, but that might actually work. I'm doing the cut against a cover 4. Let's extend him. Let's extend him 1. And look at this. He draws attention that way, so look how open he actually is. Let's look at that replay. If I didn't get hit... What the heck? I meant to hit replay. But look how open he is. This was just an accident, messing around, showing you how this works. But look at that. There's nobody. He totally messed up everything. A key part of that might be because it turned, when you have 4 people to one side, it ruins the match coverage. So let's see if the same thing would happen if I block the running back. But then I think I'm done with the video. Alright, so we got cover 4/4. We're going to take Smith. We're going to extend him. Put him out here. Let's take the running back. We're just going to block him. I think a streak might do some damage there too. But we're just going to take him there. And... yeah, you can drop that in the bucket. I forgot to extend him, but we'll do it there. We'll put a streak on him here, on the Barkley. This might just mess everything up. They're probably going to run into each other. No? Works pretty well. Matter of fact, I wonder if we extend Smith. I didn't mean to do that. Let's reset the play. Messed it up, guys. We're going to extend Smith here. Remember, this is against cover 4/4. This might not work against other coverages. We're going to take him down a notch. We're going to just block the running back for now. And that works, but I think there's a couple other things we could do to make sure this works better. So we did the custom stemming, we'll motion, we'll put Barkley on a streak, and we'll make sure Dotson stays on straight down the field here. He reacts to it even when you bring the guy down. I wonder if we leave Barkley down there, if that would actually change things here. No, it doesn't really draw attention. He is wide open over there. Barkley could be the dump off pretty easily. I'm just going to run this to show you Barkley's wide. Dang. But, yeah. So you could potentially mess around with that. Like I was saying, you move the guys around and their routes stay the same, right? Where you can flip them and it doesn't do the normal flip. Like if you have generally what the corner route, you motion them over, all of a sudden it's a post route. Or if it's a post route and you motion them to the other side, all of a sudden, you know, I mean, that's not what I meant to say. If it's a post route on the left and you motion them over to the right, it's still a post route, it just flips. And if it's a corner route on the right and you motion them to the left, it's a corner route to the left. But with this, with these plays, like look at all these option routes over here, Z read. Let's just take this. You can experiment with this. We'll start with this guy. Motion him in. I guess you can't motion him across the field. But you just change things up here a little bit by doing that. And if we take the slot guy, watch. Not something I really think is going to work, but this is weird, right? This is unorthodox, right? Off meta, right? Because he's cutting through the line. I don't know if this is going to mess up your blocking. I don't know if it's going to slow down their pass rush. I don't know if it's going to ruin his route. But you notice that it doesn't flip. If it did flip, that could be an interesting route combination. It might be a little bit messed up. But you just take that and work with it. And that guy might not have been open. Because watch, if I didn't motion him over, I think that middle linebacker there is going to come over. No, he's still open right there. But, yeah, I'm sure you could take this and build route combinations with this. Like, one that just came to mind here is I want to do a slant here. Because what I want to do is actually draw attention here. I want to have the slant take the middle linebacker's attention because I think Smith is going to do his little comeback. And I think this might get him open because Campbell will draw the attention away from the middle linebacker. The running back here should draw the attention of anybody on the outside zone here. So we'll play this out. And he didn't do the little he did a little over the middle there. Was not expecting that. But if we look on the replay, what I thought would happen would have worked. Because if he just right here did his hook, that's where I threw it. I was like, boom, he's open because he followed the slant like I thought. And the outside guy, look, he went for Barkley. This is obviously open, but I was like, this might be for a few more yards. And if I guess I threw it better before he got hit, that still would have been a completion. Now I kind of want to just mess with some plays real quick. So the video's done, even though it's not done. But you can see how, like, let's take 90Y shallow. Look at that weird route there. You take this, and let's change it up where he's doing a streak now. Hey, it got open, right? That's a little, it's kind of like a short C route, right? Where he doesn't quite do a C, but it's kinda. So you use Campbell to draw attention away. He acts like he's coming inside. He takes inside leverage, and then he bounces outside. Right, just messing around with how these different routes do. Wasn't expecting to really do this in this video, to be honest, but why not, right? Looking for some other ones that you can motion across the field. Let's go over here, because I think with this formation you can actually take the outside guys and move them around. Alright, let's take a streak real quick. Not expecting anything cool to happen here. Can I motion them again? Ah, no, never mind, not this play then. I thought this formation I could take the outside guy and motion him across the field, but I guess not. But you could still take some of these other routes and do that. I guess it's some of these inside ones you'll have to use. I don't think there's a lot of option routes in this, just a lot of switch thing. This is a play, I think I brought it up before, that works very well against the zones. You know, a lot of people like to do this quarters. Well, you can turn this into a bunch formation, because you can take this guy, bring him across the field, and like I said, it doesn't flip. He still does this route to the outside. And with all this crossing, it really messes up coverage. Now with Smith on the outside there, you could do what you want with him. If you're able to put him on a zig, a drag. Matter of fact, what I would want to do, just to distract the user over the middle, is maybe not let's not do that. Let's do a hitch. So he sees that hitch, and then he's Barkley. He does a hitch. Let's put a curl to make sure he sees it. So the user is going to see these two curls here. Keep his attention low, right? And then you got all this crossing up, and with the zone, as you can see there, he's open, but I have no time to throw. Replay will show you. Let's focus on this guy. I already motioned him. All right. So he comes over here, the little switch up, and then boom, he turns around. Look at all that. This is a play I use all the time against zone. It seems to get open against all zones, even the match coverage zones. I guess parts of it is because when you bring 4 people to one side of the field running routes, it does kind of mess with the coverage, what it's supposed to do. So draw the user's attention there. Make sure he doesn't cover this, because the zones aren't going to do it. Just make sure you throw it fast, probably low. Get down before a knockout hits you. But that's another example of just, you take a route like this, and it doesn't flip. Right? So you just mess around with it and be like, it kind of works. But you see, if I'm going to take him there, and I saw what happened there, there's a lot of congestion, because Brown is doing a little hitch, so all the people were waiting there. So what if I post or a fade? We'll do a post here, just to try to clear some things out there. It's a little bit better, but check out what happened there on the replay. Not that the guy was wide open, but is it Campbell or Dodson? This guy. Smith comes flying across, draws attention. Look, he's actually open right here. I get hit when I see it, so I can't make the throw. But we'll try that again. Again, this is against cover 4 quarters, so don't think this will work against every coverage. But you see, just mess around, because it comes across, and I get hit, and I don't know if he would have been open that time. Do I have the running back blocking? Let's make sure he's blocking. Let's stay in here. Give me some time. I want to see if this actually works. Maybe not a post. Let's do a fade. And That safety didn't bother biting on either one. He actually did pretty good coverage there. But yeah, I think this is about that. Let me just go over some of these formations here. Like this one here, go. You motion that slot guy there in the red doing the option route. You move him to the other side. That changes things. Let's do the 60 slide here. Because I'm not sure if I can motion that outside guy all the way across. Yes, you can. So you see how this changes it quite a bit. And this is against a cover 4. Hopefully he goes across to the outside. No, he did a little hitch. Not open. So I know not to do that. Alright? But you see, this is just the kind of thing that you mess around with this playbook. At least on Madden, right? On Madden, you can mess around. This is what I was talking about, Maddennizing the run and shoot. Sometimes you just take these things. Like, here's an interesting one. Let's do the divide special. You see this guy, he does a cross over. Now, if you go to the other side, that just looks ridiculous. Like, with Campbell, he's doing a switch route. Like, it makes some sense. But here, like, does it cause some kind of confusion? To me, he looked like he might have actually got open because he was starting to go to the outside of that safety who was covering inside. But you see, sometimes that's what those routes do. When they cut inside like that, the guy takes inside leverage, and that allows you to throw outside. Got it. Not the best throw, but dropped it in the bucket there. So you see, you do little experiments like that against the different coverages, and you were able to see, hey, these things act differently when you motion them, in Madden anyway. Like all go, probably not gonna work all too well, but you never know the weird things you might find in Madden. You take this route here, it's an option. Like, look at this. Look at this. Against cover 4, I'm not expecting this to get open, but there might be something to this one. I just got hit. He got bumped around a lot. Let's flip it. Maybe, I know Smith is a small guy, but he's a good route runner. Maybe he's not going to get bumped around so easy. So let's take him and motion him across. And let's see what comes of this. Kind of turned into a fade here. It actually worked. So that one was pretty cool on that. So against the cover 4, he turns it into a fade. That's interesting. 14 gun. We could try that one. Thank you for watching all the way through. You know, I'm just doing weird stuff now. Experimenting. But a cover 4. I'm expecting Brown to do a hitch. So Campbell, I'm not sure what he'll do. He didn't do a hitch. He went outside and he was actually kind of open. I could have thrown low and in outside, and I think he would have been open. Now let's see, Brown should consistently do that fade. Still in the same coverage. I got hit, but yeah, he's getting open. Do I have the running back blocking? I do. It's Madden though, so it doesn't matter. He had pretty much the best offensive line in Madden. It just doesn't matter. Even against a pass rush that isn't really that good. But I'm gonna just show the replay. He like insta sheds right when they know I want to throw the ball. But look at this. He comes on the inside getting pushed, and then he bounces out. Look at the cushion there. You just pass lead to the sideline. That actually works. See what I mean about Maddennizing. So that was, what play was that actually? I actually don't remember. 14. It was 14, the play on the right there. Here. I guess I can mess with this one. Play action wide receiver in. Not expecting anything big from this, but you see if you take this little switch wheel route here, you motion it over. I'm not expecting anything from this, but the user might think he's doing a drag, and then all of a sudden he's going up the field. We'll try that one more time because he got bumped around. Some of these plays I would imagine because of the routes, you might get inconsistent results. Like it might get open against a certain coverage, but because they do something like this where they run into the line, like see how this time he didn't. I'm just throwing it up to him to see if I could make a play. Almost did. But yeah. And some of these plays might work better depending on where you are on the hash mark. I think we got some option routes on this thing too in the 5 wide, which is not always 5 wide receivers though. Yeah, we only got this. The GT field option. The other's just a quick hitch or in or out routes. Not expecting anything from that. See if we got some. Let's take the switch streak here. See if I can motion the outside guy across the field. Alright, so now we can do this. Let's make sure we have Campbell doing a streak. And he's doing like a corner route. Alright, so if he does a corner route, and if we don't hot route Campbell, I don't know if he's going to do an out or not. Let's see what he does. But he draws more of attention of that lower guy. Alright, so I see a combination we could do here. We could take this guy, put him on a streak, so it would have to be, yeah, that's what I thought. We'd have to be on the left hash mark to make sure he streaks. Let me reset. Something you may have to do if you're on this kind of the side. What play was I doing? Yeah, switch streak. Let's come back here. I think if I motion him first, then put him on a streak, he'll go to the other side. Nope. Dang it. But I know what we can do, which should do the trick. If we take it, we flip the play, then we put him on a streak. Perfect. Now we motion this route over. This should get open now, because Smith is going to draw attention down low. Yeah, he's open. Look at that. Look at that replay. You see, mess around, you find these combinations. So he's coverage, but then you see how he looks like he's going to take him, but then he realizes this guy, he's just psychic. He knows he's going on a streak, which means he's open. So let's see if we get a consistent result here. Let's flip the play, do a streak, and it might be better if we're on the right hash mark because then there would be more field. But we know Smith is going to do the out against this, and then we can just golden pass, apparently perfect, but threw it way out there. But yeah, he was open. I think I'm going to mess around here, see if I find some other cover 4 beaters here, huh? This one looks like it might be interesting. We take the curl flat outside receiver. If we're able to bring him to the other side of the field, let's see what he does. Now we're going to have 2 people crossing over the middle if he does an in route. let's just see how this plays out, because I don't know what he's going to do. He just kind of does a little streak there. Oh, my time's about up. So he just kind of did a weird fade. So what if we take him on a streak? We just did kind of like an all go. And then we'll just put Dotson on an in route. He'll be a dump off. And now all of a sudden he doesn't. Alright, that's strange. Bum, 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 bum. Let's go to trips open. This might be weird. I'm pretty sure this will flip. If it doesn't flip, that's going to be weird. It doesn't flip. What? Alright, let's just put Brown on a streak. I have not messed with this play like this. I just threw it over there. I know he was covered, but that is messed up. He was double covered. So what if I put Barkley on a streak just to draw some attention? He's still double covered, and Barkley was wide open. That was that's strange that did that. What if we put him on this route? They're both in the flat. What happens? I'm just trying to not die. But apparently the flat guy gets open. But that was interesting. What if we take this guy? Yeah, we've seen something like that before, so we will skip over that. I only got 3 minutes. Alright, let's see what else we got here. That would be interesting. That's different. Alright, let's do troop. This one is weird. Let's take this options. Motion him. Apparently I can't motion him, but I guess because Brown is already considered a motion. I can't motion anybody. I can motion him. Why does it give me it says I have the arrows, but it's not motioning. Let's reset this. See if it's just glitched out. It's probably because they're playing tight. It probably considers it as an already a motion in the play. Yeah. Alright, well that sucks. Because that would have been a weird one to do. Just seeing if there's any others. I only got 2 minutes. Let's just see if there's any unique ones. I guess the go. We can take the go one here real quick. I'm just gonna put Brown on a streak. What does Campbell do? He just does a little hitch. Not good unless you bring something else into the combination. So if I take him and I do this, does he still do a hitch? It just leaves him wide open. Alright, I got a minute left. Might as well just wrap this up here. I don't think there's anything too crazy here to use. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate it watching me basically mess around for most of this. The beginning was mainly what it was about. The quick out that's a little deeper than normal. That's already in the plays that the run and shoot has, and you can just build around that because that route is very. I guess I would say glitchy. It gets open and against a lot of coverages, if not all the coverages, and if it doesn't get open, it draws a lot of attention, even from the user, which gets other things open. And then there's things you can mess around with in this playbook. So with all that being said, thank you for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.